Hello, I'm attorney Morris E. Fisher, and I welcome you to our YouTube channel. I also invite you to subscribe to our channel. It's free and it has a lot of timely and important information. Is President Trump's deferred resignation offer legal? This is the U.S. OPM, or Office of Personnel Management's fork in the road. It's the deferred resignation offer, and federal employees who accept that offer by February 6th, basically they retain all pay and benefits of their job, and they are exempted from in-person work requirements until September 30th, 2025. So basically what happens is they don't have to come into work. They can keep doing what they're doing, keep doing the teleworking, so on and so forth. But on September 30th, 2025, these federal employees effectively resign. Now, it's important to note that the OPM fact sheet lists that there are certain requirements for the federal employee, like federal employee has to be serving under a qualified appointment, has to have a regularly scheduled tour of duty, has to have completed 12 months of continuous service in federal employment. And finally, if a federal employee was already getting removed, let's say because of an unacceptable work performance or conduct issues, and got a termination notice, so then that person is not eligible for this deferred resignation offer. Now, if there is such a person out there, it can be potentially negotiated as a settlement that the person would get the resignation offer letter. And you really should keep that in mind, because you generally have 30 days to appeal to the MSPB for one of these terminations based on unacceptable performance or conduct if you met the other requirements. So the question of legality, there are at least 4 potential issues that I see. Now, I'm not here today to give anyone any specific advice as to their specific circumstance. These are general guidelines and issues that just leap off the page that I see with President Trump's deferred resignation offer. The first one is OPM. They already have this voluntary separation incentive payment, and it's quite clear the agency, if it's downsizing or restructuring, they can offer employees lump sum payments up to $25,000 as an incentive to voluntarily separate. And the question is, does this deferred resignation offer letter, does this violate that? And that's also another concern that I have, which is number 2, which is whether OPM has the legal authority to use a deferred resignation to put people on extended administrative leave under these circumstances. Now, you may ask, well, what's the administrative leave? I mean, they said they'd keep working. But if you look at the resignation letter, it says in there that the employee understands that in response to the employee accepting this, the agency then can go ahead and start consolidating his job or her job with somebody else's, eliminating parts of the job, reassigning tasks, reducing official duties, and or placing the employee on administrative leave. Okay, so until the resignation date. So how long is that? Okay, that's a question. Let's say someone came in a week later and said, okay, thank you for signing that, and now we're going to effectively eliminate your job, and you'll be on admin leave now until September 30th, which according to this letter seems like that could happen. So that's now an issue whether OPM can do that. And that's also issue number 3 that I have with this, which is there's nothing in this letter that says they specifically can't be laid off for some other reason prior to September 30th, 2025. And as such, this may not be an enforceable contract, which is essentially what this is. The 4th problem that I see with this is you have to remember that these federal agencies are created by Congress. So yes, the president can close them down with congressional approval. So the president on his own really can't do that. So now the question is this: is this incentive program, this deferred resignation offer letter, depending on how many people reached, how many people accepted, so on and so forth, does this situation now put a particular federal agency in peril so that the agency can't do what Congress set it up to do? Okay, so for example, the FAA, enough people take this. So is there any guarantee that, I mean, who's going to make sure those planes are flying safely? Or the USDA, how do we know food is safe? So on and so forth. Like the argument really is that it would usurp congressional authority because of the danger in the operations of these agencies. And that's really almost the same as shutting down the agency or shutting down a good part of it, where it can't do what Congress set it up to do. By the way, he also directs that federal employees seek higher productivity jobs. Okay, how does one do that? I mean, look for another video coming soon where I'll get into that. If you are a federal employee affected by these recent developments, call our office. We can help. It's what we do. We also invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel.